So what is efficiency billing for construction? Efficiency billing for construction enables organizations to automatically generate a summary billing record and a corresponding invoice for each period within a project. Many organizations refer to this as progress billing or schedule of values, but essentially what this means is organizations have a need to track billable and cost activity for each period within the project, whether it's tracking work completed per schedule of value or across the entire project, or capturing percent progress per schedule of value or work activity. Our solution helps organizations solve for the tracking and capturing of all that billable and cost activity that typically is managed manually in a number of different tools that makes it cumbersome and time-consuming to manage. So let's jump into the solution and give you a sneak peek into our efficiency billing for construction solution. So our efficiency billing for construction solution allows organizations to track and capture billable and cost activity for each period within a project. We give you a number of different ways to capture, track, and calculate billable value, whether that be fulfillment driven, whether that be based off of labor hours that are tracked for a given project, or based on a user's or project manager's input. So there's flexibility depending on your specific needs. Now, ultimately, our billing for construction solution generates a number of different outputs that help organizations generate the necessary forms when submitting a request for payment from a customer. So here's an example of an invoice that was generated from a summary billing record that outlines the different schedule of values or work codes where work was completed and the corresponding billable amount was generated. So some companies refer to it as progress-based billing or AIA-based billing, but essentially what it refers to is the incremental invoicing process for the amount of work that has been completed based on percent complete. And so you may be asking, how does our solution track and capture all of this billable activity? So we have what we refer to as a progress billing record. So these are basically broken down by work code and schedule of value by period. Now, any progress bill record shows you your schedule of value and all of your different values that ultimately calculate your total completed for that specific schedule of value or work code within a given period. Now, these are your default values, meaning the system is capturing this data and auto-calculating your work complete and percent complete based off of your billing type. But as a project manager, you also have the option and ability to enter override values to calculate your percent complete and total completed. Regardless of what method you decide to use, you can print out your PDF, which is also known in the industry as your G703 form, directly from here as an output. And so from here, these progress billing records are tied to what we refer to as a summary billing record. And so here's an example of a summary billing record for the period of September 2023. And so underneath this, we can see all of the related progress billing work codes or schedule of values that feed into my summary billing record. And now as an output of this, we also have in the industry what we refer to as a G702 form. Because ultimately you're going to need an invoice in NetSuite to create a receivable, and that receivable can also be auto-generated, which we saw earlier. And so it's going to be able to reconcile all the work codes against the work completed. So this should reconcile with your overrides or your auto-calculated work completed. So this is the invoice you'd send to the customer, and then you'd attach your G702 and your G703 with that invoice to your customer for request for payment. These are all the different outputs that ultimately our efficiency billing for construction solution helps you to generate and track within the NetSuite platform. Now, let's recap what we just walked through. And so to recap, Efficiency's billing for construction solution helps organizations capture and track billable activity across your entire project portfolio, where you have the ability to generate and track progress billings for all your scheduled values for each period in which you have billable activity. This gives you a visibility for work completed in each period, as well as the 9 commonly tracked values that is considered industry standard for payment applications. And so our solution enables organizations to automatically calculate percent complete by work code and schedule of value and generate PDF outputs as well as invoices that are required when submitting requests for payment to your customers. So our solution's flexibility allows organizations to track more than just schedule of values. It gives you the ability to generate similarly formatted AIA billing forms, track things like billable and cost activity that ultimately help you better track and report on project performance.